The Last Days of America. That's a shocking title for your book. Could you explain what this means, the vision you had about America and the church?
I had this dream that I was preaching about America dying on the threshold of the church. I then, on the heels of that, have this open vision. I was sitting on my couch, I'm looking at my television set, and I see a storm. A newscaster comes on, and he's basically saying, we've got an emergency going on in the country. He said, there is an unprecedented storm, and they show a picture, and the storm looks like a hurricane.
A very dangerous situation for many of you. Matter of fact, more than 100 million people are under some kind of wind alert.
But what was interesting is it was a hurricane that stretched all the way from the northern border to the southern border, and it was moving right down the heart of America. It was coming all the way across America. It was going west to east, all the way across America. The eye was over the center of America, the heartbeat of America. And the reporter said, this is the most unusual storm. He said, because it looks like a hurricane, and most of the time this forms in the ocean will come upon land. He said, but this one has formed on land and is spreading from ocean to ocean. He said, we have a correspondent that's in the storm, in the eye of the storm. And you've seen hurricane reporters. And all of a sudden, the picture changes on the television. And there's a man who's standing there in rain gear, and he's being tossed about by the wind. And he's got a microphone. He said, this is the most unusual storm I've ever seen. And there's stuff swirling around his head. And he reaches down, and he picks up, and he has in his hand $100 bills. He says, this is a storm of money. About that time, I go back to the reporter, and he says, there's been another tragedy that's happening right now in America, another crisis. I see on my television screen riots, fires burning in cities all across America, riots going on in America. I saw people holding signs. One of the signs that really stood out to me was a sign with big red letters that said, I want my entitlements. And I see people, I see a earthquake happen on the New Madrid fault line. And it runs down the center of America, and it divides America from the north to the south. And I said, but it won't stop there. It's going to spread all across the nation. About that time, I heard a voice behind me in my ear that said, they divided my land, now I will divide theirs. And I knew it was the voice of God, and like Ezekiel, the prophet was picked up and snatched up. All of a sudden, I was snatched up, and immediately I was set down in this beautiful building in the Middle East. And I was like a fly on the wall, sitting in this room, and world leaders had gathered together, and sitting at the head of the table was Putin, the Russian leader. And these leaders were gathered together, and they were discussing the fall of America.